I saw that it was based on a William Joyce novel.
Bill and I became fast friends. We met in the mid '90s, and we're we're the same age. We grew up loving the same stuff. We just hit it off like that. And so early on, we decided we got to make a movie together, one way or another. It'd be fun. We met for dinner, and he'd been visiting the Frick Museum, and they'd had an exhibition of Victorian fairy paintings up, and he showed me the catalog. I didn't get to see the exhibit, but the catalog was enough. I was looking at this thing, and there were just these incredibly articulate paintings, 100 years old, of little civilizations in the forest, little, magical little people running around, but then also like descriptions of civilizations and ceremonies and coronations and weddings and funerals for animals, and I just thought, wow, that's it. That's cool. That's where we should go. And Bill had a couple of years before done his book, The Leaf Men, and the story that we cooked up was one that included the Leaf Men, but his book is a charming children's book, like a bedtime story, really beautifully rendered with Bill's painting. But neither one of us was interested in that story. It was just the Leaf Men could be cool, and then so we just amped them up into like samurai warrior, and put them on hummingbirds, like little jet fighters, and that was the idea. It would be an action movie. That's what I wanted to do, because it's a little unfortunate that animation starts in our culture with kids. Mm-hmm. I got nothing against kids. I've been a kid. I've raised kids. But I love animation. I've loved it all my life. And so it's always, if you're going to do animation, it's got to be marketed to kids. It's got to be really kid-friendly. And if you're going to, then there are only a couple of ways you cross over to the other audience, and that's with comedy usually. Mm-hmm. So we pack all sorts of comedy in. And I wanted to do it with action and adventure and fantasy. I just wanted to get you to a world where you could only do in animation. So one thing about it is I didn't want this, I said we started with Victorian fairy paintings, but I didn't want anything to be cute about this. I didn't want any cutesy anything. So, we decided the Leaf Men, we had drawings of the Leaf Men with little thatch things that you could make leaves out of and pull a belt around them, and they looked very cute. But I decided, no, they should be cool. They should be able to forge metal. They should be able to weave stuff. It's just they're smaller than us. Who cares? Cool. We got that set, and we used samurai stuff as reference for that.
So I guess this technology is obviously affected. It's probably enhanced your. Would you say the 3D technology has enhanced your storytelling?
It adds. I hate to put it this way, but it adds another dimension. No. You guys can use that one. I don't care. Just. No, but it's another element in the cameraman's toolkit and the director's toolkit, because all the stuff we know about composition, size, and contrast and color and scale relationships. You just have an extra element,
an extra tool.
We're always with the camera pushing the audience's head in and out of the movie, and now you can literally do it. You can literally pull the proscenium past their ears and back in. So it's really fun to work with, and we had you have a tremendous amount of control in animation.
Mm-hmm. So how did you approach the casting? You have Beyonce, you have Pitbull, you have Colin Farrell.
All singers.
You have all singers, yeah.
No, Colin's not a singer. Well, it's interesting because you go character by character. And you just try to pin stuff down, and you don't know what your ensemble's going to be until you're finished.
Do people say yes right away?
Some do.
You think? Yeah.
Some are very enthusiastic. Some scratch their head. Some turn you down. But there's a casting director we've been using at Fox for as long as Blue Sky's been doing this, and he's really usually pretty good at knowing who's a rising star and who's going to be great in a role and who's going to be hot when the film hits. Because after all, we could just spend 4 years making this movie and sit and watch it ourselves, but we would really like other people to
see it as well.
Yes,
right,
yes,
right.
People to see
so
it.
I guess that process of creating an animated film is what, 4 years?
3 years. You need all of 3 years, and if you're lucky, you get a little more than that. So I was in production for about 3.5.
Wow. And then you cut in music, and how did Danny Elfman come come to you?
We just went and I just thought of who I wanted. I just wanted I wanted like Adventures of Robin Hood. I wanted Eric Korngold or Franz Waxman, just old school. I wanted to just like, if I wanted to hear music sync up with somebody getting punched in the face, I wanted that. I wanted it to be fun and colorful.